Hey you guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel, Peterisms, where I tell stories of my life and just little things that I've learned as I've grown into the person that I am today. And I have not made a video on this channel in almost a week. It seems so strange. I didn't take my meditation books with me on vacation, and there were a couple days I was going to sit there and I was going to tell a story. I was going to talk about just relationship stuff. Alex and I were going to make a video, and then, you know, we were just like hanging out by the pool, or we were napping, or getting ready to go eat, and I thought, they're fine. They'll be okay with me not posting a video this week, so I'll wait till I come back. So anyway, I'm back, and I'm going to be posting videos again over here absolutely every single day, because I love this channel. And I have to tell you something interesting. I gave her a shout out on my Peter Monn channel, but I'm going to give her a shout out on this channel too. So I never get stopped in public. It like almost never happens to me, right? And we were like riding the tram from like the main part of the airport in Las Vegas to like where we were flying out, like the Delta area. And so this girl was on the train with her boyfriend, and she was like looking at me and she goes, "Peter Monn?" And I go, "Yeah." And I thought I like knew her from Indianapolis or something. She goes, "I watch all your videos." So anyway, Michelle, thank you so much, Michelle, for stopping me. She totally made my day, and we got to talk about YouTube and all kinds of stuff, and it was really nice. She said to me, she goes, "It's so nice when you meet a YouTuber and they're exactly the same in person as they are on video." So that really meant a lot to me. But she said, she was like, "I watch your Peterisms channel and it has helped me so much." And she said, "Thank you so much for that channel." And I said, "Oh, I love that. That means so much to me." And it really does. And I've missed making videos over here, and I've missed my meditation books. I've needed them, you know what I mean? But I feel very rested, very relaxed. The dogs are home, and they are all, Boo and Tucker got haircuts and grooms, and they all have bandanas on. You want to see Pee-Pee? Pee-Pee, you want to show your bandana, sweetheart? Look at Pee-Pee. Doesn't he look so sweet in his little bandana? Can I have a kiss? Can I have a kiss? Aww. He said, "I missed you, Daddy. I missed you." And he did not cough one time this entire week. Ate all of his food, and Tanya, my best friend, who owns the kennel that we take him to, we call it their hotel. She, so I checked in with her obviously every day. She's my best friend, and but she said that he did great the entire week. She was like, he is like, she said he was spry. She was like, he's so spry. He's like running around the yard, and so anyway, and Boo and Tucker had a great time as well, and they're just kind of resting now. Tucker's over here, and he's resting, and Boo Radley's resting, and we're just a house of rest. So, okay. I got a new coffee mug while I was in Las Vegas. I've been showing it in all my videos, so I'm gonna show it today too, and here. Let's get started. Now since I haven't read these meditations in the last couple days, I'm just gonna randomly go in here and pick some from the last week and just pick a couple to read. Somebody's texting me. Let's read this one. This is from the Daily Book of Positive Quotations. Time Out, August 24th. Live with no time out, Simone de Beauvoir. We can't push the pause button on our lives. Isn't that funny that I talk about the pause button all the time? But we'll talk about that in a second. Okay, we can't push the pause button on our lives. Every day counts, whether we're doing our best or our worst. But even if we could call a time out when life becomes tense and stressful, would we really want to? Our life's clock keeps ticking no matter what. The only thing we truly have is time. Better to live every moment than to lose that time forever. As much as I may want to call a timeout in my life, I will live every moment as fully as I can. I don't remember having ever read this meditation before, and this meditation is really good for me. So it brings up a lot of different ideas. The first of which is that I talk about a pause button a lot. And when I'm talking about a pause button, I'm not talking about the pause button that she's referring to in this. The pause button that I'm referring to is when you're going through something, pause before reacting or responding. You know, pause in that moment and say, you know, like with restraint and pen and tongue. You don't have to say anything. You don't have to act out. You can wait 12 hours. You could wait 12 days. You could wait 12 minutes. You do not have to respond. And I think sometimes we feel like this internal need to respond or react to something immediately. And this has probably been one of the greatest lessons I have learned in the last year, was that I have the ability to respond, not to react. And that's my choice. I have a choice in that, right? And typically when I wait and I sit on something, number one, I don't feel as hardcore about it like the next day as I did the night before, if that makes sense. Like, have you ever gotten into an argument with somebody and like the next day it's like, really wasn't as big a deal as I thought it was. But the night before, it like feels like a pretty big deal, you know? And I think like that has been a really valuable lesson to me. And I think also learning to respond instead of react. Like really thinking through what I want to say has been really helpful to me. The other thing I want to say is that I talk a lot about this on my vlog channel, that I wish that we could pause life, you know? And it's different, because what I mean by that is not so much like I'm going through this horrible time and I want to pause it, right, from it continuing, but like I think what they're referring to here, or she's referring to, is when you're going through something tough, it's like you want to stop it. It's just like, I want to stop it. I don't want it to continue. You know what I mean? I wouldn't necessarily do that. But like when I talk about, like, I just want to stop time sometimes, what I mean by that is that, like, you know, I'm sitting here and I've got my dogs and they're all, you know, doing well today, and, you know, it's a good day in our lives, and life is good, and we just went on a vacation, and we just, you know, had our anniversary, and, you know, so everything is good. And so sometimes I just want to stop in the moment and appreciate it. Like, I don't want to continue to get older, and I don't want, like, the dogs to continue to get older. You know what I mean? Like, I just want to stop time sometimes and just, I get real emotional when I talk about it in my vlog. I just wish time could stop and we could just, you know, live here for a moment, if that makes sense. You know, like, I don't know, have a pit stop, you know, in 2019 and just enjoy it for a little bit longer. And I think that goes also with something that my mother used to always say. My mom used to always say, and I used to on my vlog, I had a blog that I wrote on for years, and I would end every blog post this way. And I would end it with, we're on borrowed time. And it's like, as my mother always said, we're on borrowed time as it is. And people get confused when I say that, which I think is funny because it's kind of like an old-timey saying. What it means to say that we're on borrowed time is that we're all going to pass on at some point, okay? You, me, the dogs, your dogs, all of us, we're all going to pass on. You know, death is inevitable. It has been said that death is the great equalizer. There will be a time that each and every single one of us is not here anymore. So the time that we have today is borrowed, because we don't know when that time is going to be. We don't know if today is our last day, if we're going to have 10 more years, 10 more days, the 40 more years. We don't know, you know? We're on borrowed time as it is. Like, we're on borrowed time from the moment that we're born, when we get born. We're on borrowed time from the moment that we're born, you know? So it's about really appreciating the moments of our lives and really enjoying each and every moment. And, you know, like tonight, like I haven't seen my friend in a week, right? My best friend, and we're going to our home group meeting tonight. And I'm so excited to see her, and I'm so excited to go to a meeting, and I can't wait to see my sober friends that I haven't seen, you know, in a week and stuff like that. And so it's just like enjoying each and every one of those moments, you know, and just really appreciating them for what they are, the small ones and the big ones, because I don't know, it's funny, you know, I love to go on vacation, but when I'm on vacation, it's the small things I miss. It's my backyard, it's my dogs, it's my bed, it's, you know, all of that. Those are the things that I miss while I'm gone. So I think it's appreciating those things, each and every one of them, just a little bit more, you know? That's a great, great meditation. Okay. Oh, let's read another one from that one. See, now I've got meditations for a whole week, don't I? Okay, that was 24th. Let's read August 25th. Okay. Being somebody. I always wondered why somebody doesn't do something about that. Then I realized I was somebody. Lily Tomlin. I love her so much, don't you? How many times have we walked? I loved Lily Tomlin way back in the day when she was in The Incredible Shrinking Woman. Did you ever see that movie? I loved her in 9 to 5. I have loved Lily Tomlin way, way back in the day when she did different skits and stuff like that. Okay. How many times have we walked past a piece of litter on the ground, cursing whoever was so thoughtless as to drop it and wondering when somebody would come by to clean it up? Okay, this is a funny story. So I made this commitment. I just have to share this on here. I made this commitment like years ago that I was gonna, every time I was at the gas station, I'd pick up one piece of trash, or like I was at the store, and throw it away, right? And that was like, I could help out with the environment a little bit by cleaning something up. So it's to the point now. Tanya's like, you're gonna get some serious disease picking up other people's trash. She's like, you need to stop. And I was like, no, I'm like just contributing to the environment. So anyway, it wouldn't be hard for us to bend over and pick up that litter, then drop it in the nearest waste bin. Exactly, that's what I think. Often though, we don't, because we think it's somebody else's responsibility. Maybe it is, in an official way. But if each of us picked up just one piece of litter, the streets would be clean in no time. When I can, I won't wait for somebody else to be responsible for addressing a problem. I'll take responsibility myself. I think this meditation goes so just above and beyond taking responsibility for something, you know? I think it's about smiling. I think it's about attitude. I think it's about what are you representing on a daily basis? Who are you being? Are you being kind? Are you being caring? Are you being compassionate? Are you being tolerant? Are you being loving? You know, I talked about this on my blog, oh God, I don't know, 2 years ago, about this whole idea of, you know, paying it forward with kindness and doing one kind thing for people every single day, just anonymously. You don't tell. It's called altruism, when you do things and you don't tell anybody. And I know it sounds funny, but it's like, there's two parts to this, okay? Every day that you're alive, give back as a gift to the world. Do one kind thing for somebody else, okay? And it could be anything. It could be buying somebody in front of you at Starbucks a cup of coffee. It could be giving somebody a parking space that's free, that you know, like you're fighting over, give it to them. You know what I mean? Open the door for somebody. It can be just the smallest things, right? But don't tell anybody you did that. That's the trick. Like, don't tell them, you know, oh, this is like I just told you that I pick up trash, but that's for me. That's not really for anybody else. Like, I do that for me. And it's kind of gotten to be obsessive at this point, in all honesty. But, you know, do something, but don't tell anybody else. One of the coolest things for me was that when I was at my aunt's funeral, somebody else is texting me. When I was at my aunt's funeral, one of her friends got up, and this was like, it had been her neighbor for years, and then like, you know, they had stayed friends for 20 years after. And she was talking about all of these things that my aunt was involved in that I had absolutely no idea. Like, I didn't even know. And I said to my cousin Caroline afterwards, I said, did you know your mom was involved? She goes, I had no idea. I had no idea. My aunt did all of these things. She, you know, she did this thing where she put like Easter baskets together for kids at Easter time that didn't have Easter baskets. You know, she did the same thing with like wrapping presents, like Toys for Tots. I mean, she did all of these things. She made food and casseroles for people and gave it to people that were sick and ill through the church. She did all these things that I never had any clue about. She never told anybody, right? Like, that to me is truly somebody that is just so of the heart. And so it's twofold. It's about, you know, doing something for somebody else, but then not telling anybody else. Not sitting at home and going to your husband, well, I bought somebody coffee at Starbucks. You know what I mean? Like, look at what a great person I am, you know? It's about doing things and not telling anybody. You know what's interesting is that my husband is actually somebody like that. Like, he'll do something and nobody will tell me, and then later, like, we'll be at like a work thing for him or something, and they'll be like, did Alex tell you that? And I'll be like, no, I didn't know that at all, right? And he kind of tries to come across like he's real tough and he's real hardcore, you know? But in reality, he's not. He's a total softie, and he does things for people all the time that he never tells me, and I have never have any idea, you know, that he does these random acts of kindness for people. So I think it is about that. I think it's about, you know, each of us taking on the idea of, okay, so if I smile at somebody else, and then they smile at somebody else, and then they smile at somebody else, you know, sooner or later we're this world of smiles. We're this world of people smiling at one another. And wouldn't that be fantastic? Why wouldn't we want that? Why wouldn't we want a kinder world, you know? And the reality is if we're cussing at somebody, if we're coming at them with negativity and anger and rage and let me prove something to you, right? That 9 times out of 10, we're gonna get that in response. But if we approach people with love and kindness, compassion, you know, all that, the reality is that we're going to get that in response as well. You know, that's what they're going to put out. So I think that it really does start with us to some degree. It's like, what are we putting out there in the world? Like, what are we choosing to put out there? And that's a question I have to ask myself on a daily basis, you know? Sometimes I'm not in the greatest of moods, and sometimes it's like, it's hard, you know, for me to be like, smiles, you know what I mean? And I'm not all about faking it. I'm about like working, you know, through it and feeling your feelings and all that kind of stuff. So, I don't know. I think it's an interesting, you know, I think it's interesting. Okay, let's see if we can get one more meditation. Staying angry. August 27th. Is that today? 25, 26, that's today, August 27th. Holding on to anger is like grasping a hot coal with the intent of throwing it at someone else. You are the one who gets burned. Buddha. People who hold grudges, who never stop talking about those who have wronged them, let their anger rule their lives. This is so true. I have felt this for so many years. Like, I have been a grudge holder in my past. I am no longer. I just, one day I woke up and I just was like, I know the saying of allowing people to rent space in your head for free, and I choose not to do it anymore. I choose not, I'm gonna inventory whatever my anger, my resentment is. Resentments are unfulfilled expectations. Resentments are when I felt somebody should act a certain way, or a situation should have been handled a certain situation. A resentment is when a person a resentment is an unfulfilled expectation. It's when I think somebody should have acted a certain way, or I think a situation should have turned out a certain way, or it should have been handled a certain way, and it didn't. It didn't happen that way, and I hold on to that. I hold on to it for months or years or whatever. You know what? That is so damaging to me. I'm the one that suffers from that, and I'm not willing to do that anymore. Peace and serenity are too important to me. I just don't hold on to it anymore. Those they're angry at may not even care or be aware of the grudge, but our anger is justified, we argue. Maybe, but does this justify listen, justifiable anger is going to be something that's going to really damage a lot of people out there. There's a lot of people that have a right to their anger. Absolutely. Absolutely. I've had a lot of right to my anger, you know? And there's people that are resentful at me, and they have every right to be resentful at me for the past, right? Like, but let's work it out. Why hold on to that? You know, why hold on to that anger? That's not doing anybody any good, you know? It's just, it's force out there that's just destroying people. And justifiable anger, and what that means is I have a right to be angry because of I was wronged. There's a lot of people that have, I mean, think about this. This could go real deep, okay? There's a lot of people that have a right to feel really angry about some crap that happened to them in their lives, okay? And I'm not saying that they shouldn't. I'm saying let that be the precipice for working through that stuff, okay? Being able to turn your wounds into wisdom and do something with that, or else you're going to stay in that forever for the rest of your life. You only get one life. You only get one life, you know? I don't want to be stuck in that. I've had some horrendous things happen to me in my life that I don't, you know, like, I could be justified about. And it's like, what's the point in holding on to that? Like, I want to work through it. You know, that's why I went to counseling. Those are things I work with my sponsor. But our anger is justified, we argue. Maybe, but does this justify the self-damage inflicted by holding on to and nursing the hurt? How many times must we bore our friends with another recounting of the injustice we've suffered? How much longer must we let our anger sour our outlook on life? It's normal to get angry sometimes, but I'll do whatever I need to do to let my anger go and move on with my life. You know, I was just talking to my husband about this on our trip. I do not have the time anymore in my life for negativity, okay? And people can laugh all they want about, oh, people that preach positivity and people, listen, okay? You make fun of me all you want. I don't really care. I don't really care who makes fun of it. I don't really care, you know, who wants to think it's like the town joke that, you know, people preach positivity and, you know, peace and serenity. I don't really care because I'm living it. I'm living it. So if that's a joke to somebody else, the joke's on them. I'm living it, you know? And, the thing is that it used to be a joke to me too, before I knew it was attainable. When I was out there, you know, and I was caught up with all of this chaos and toxicity, when people would be like, oh, you know, like, oh, I'd be like, who'd want that boring life? Me. I want that boring life today. I want that boring life that is full of peace and serenity. It is much nicer over on that side. It truly, truly is, you know. I don't want a life consumed with anger. You know, there are people out there that believe that anger, resentment, rage, obsession lead to physical, you know, disease and physical, you know, things happening to you. And I don't want that. You know, I want to live the healthiest life that I possibly can, and physically, mentally, spiritually, you know, emotionally, and getting rid of anger and working through it, okay, and actually feeling it and realizing why I feel anger about a certain situation, and looking at it and looking at my part in that and taking responsibility. And then letting go. And that is how it works for me in my life today. I don't want to be an angry person. I don't want to be filled with anger and rage. I just don't. And I don't invite it into my life. I don't allow it in my life. And I just try to move on from it and avoid it. That's truly what I try to do today. So anyway, that was really good meditation. Those were really good meditations for me. I needed to hear those things, and I'm so happy to be back. And I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.